Hello, and welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Matt.
This week, again, we're featuring social distancing in our reviews, but I see you, buddy, and I'm happy we're here together.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
Matt, you want to give us a little bit of a history on the Jane Walker?
All right, so this is the Jane Walker. This is by Johnnie Walker, obviously. It's got featuring a woman on the front, and this is a blended malt that's a 10-year, so it means there's no grain in this, which is just all single malts from different distilleries. It's 41.9%. This was blended by Emma Walker, who is the master blender for Johnnie Walker, and it's part, of course, the big Diageo campaign that they're starting. That is for celebrating the talented, bold, and pioneering women who made the world's most beloved spirits. The base spirit of this is Cardu, and Cardu is really cool because this was also run by a woman back in the day before it was sold to Johnnie Walker. And there's 30 other single malts in this. And Cardu was owned by Elizabeth Cummings, and who also was a very successful businesswoman, and eventually sold it in 1893 to Johnnie Walker because they needed a base that they could always count on, so they bought the distillery. So this is one of their main bases is Cardu. So good reason. So she sold it off for, of course, tons and tons of money. Emma Walker has over 10 million cash she could choose from when she made this blend here, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I can't imagine 10 million cash to pick from.
A lot of whiskey.
That's insane.
How do you start?
We're talking about palate fatigue.
Yeah, for real. All right, so let's get into this whiskey, and then we will talk a little bit about Cardu after this.
It's very pleasant on the nose.
It really is. It's very friendly.
Really nice.
Yeah. We talked about the malt whiskey that went into this. Is this a blended malt?
This is a blended malt. Yeah, there's no grain whatsoever. Yeah,
I wasn't thinking about much, if any. So
it smells really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Bright and fruity.
Yeah, definitely. Sweet floral.
Very sweet.
Yeah. It's got some peach and apple.
It does.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of peach, which you don't get a whole lot in a lot of whiskeys. Peach.
No.
Apples.
Yeah.
Normal.
Pretty normal.
Let's see.
I would almost even go apricot.
Yeah.
Not into mango, but apricot.
Not
It's
quite
some,
tropical.
Yeah.
On the cusp of being a tropical.
I'm getting some berries in here as well.
Yeah, it's also got some like rose water and some honey, some vanilla.
Yeah.
It's also got
it's very bright and like almost smells refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dandelions. And
yeah.
Yeah, that's the floral. That's what I'm getting. Like out in a field.
Floral.
It's like the sound of music. Up in the mountains.
Are you singing about the hills?
Yeah.
It's not super malt forward,
No,
but it
it's not.
is. It does have a hay-like component in there as well. If you're gonna like really kind of force it in there.
Yeah, but you really have to dig deep for that. It's not. It's a lot of.
It's not monkey shoulder.
No, a lot of scotches
No.
is right there in the front, but this you have to dig deep if you want to find it. If you want to find it.
Yeah.
I think
If you
there's
don't think about
benefits
it, you
from
won't find it.
having older, at least 10-year stuff in here too. That takes away.
It's really good.
It smells really good. Yeah, this is opened up really nice.
Oh, that's surprisingly pleasant. It's got all those fruits on the palate too.
It does.
And on the palate, they almost taste a little bit more on the tropical side with a little bit of the mango-ish on it. But like mango and peach, almost like if you were like blend them together and make a shake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds tasty.
And it's almost overripe fruits. There's almost there is a slight bitterness that kind of comes in along with the finish, as if you're maybe overripened fruit.
Yeah, on the very back. Very back of the palate.
It's not. It's a little bit. It takes away, I feel like, a little bit from the finish for me.
Yeah. It's almost a little metallic on the finish.
Right.
Which is weird because it's
it is very weird.
It's a blended malt, not a blend, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, it's malty and it's sugary. There's also got a lot of cinnamon and black pepper. But then it's got this like cotton candy, bubblegum, peppermint chocolate thing going on. For me, mid palate.
Maybe it's the floral. Like I'm getting a little bit of the greenery with the floral instead of just the flower. You know?
So like a little vegetal.
Yeah. Like the stem.
Yeah. I think you're right. It does kind of have that stem smell, or I guess taste to it.
William's going in with the water.
Yeah, it does.
What was the ABV on this, Matt?
41.9.
It's very nice. I mean,
it's good.
Even with that little bit of like trail off on the end with the finish, it doesn't turn you off so much that you don't want to go in for another sip.
It's not a long finish at all. It kind of dies off, but it's really nice. It's nice, like I said, nice and fruity and malty. And it's like $37, so
that's not bad.
Good price for 10 years age stated. I'm not mad at all. I think it's good.
How's the water?
I think the water actually adds to it. I feel like the water kind of took away a little bit of the metallic at the very end. It's either that or the third sip is just less metallic, but
it could be.
I feel like it actually took away a little bit of the metallic at the end.
It really did. It took away that little bite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
what was the other whiskey like that? That was like low ABV, and we added water, and it got better. Was that another Johnnie Walker product?
Johnnie Walker product.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only difference, the only issue for me with the water is that it takes away that bite at the end, but it takes away a little bit for me in the very front of the palate.
It takes away a lot of the sweetness for me.
It dulls it out too much at the front that I'd rather just stick with it the way it is, and
and have that little bit
of bite at the end.
Yeah, because it did take quite a bit of the flavor away from the forefront of the palate as well, along with taking away the bite. So you kind of gave up both.
Right. And I'm not willing to give up that much flavor.
That's fair. Yeah. We've poured ourselves the Cardhu as well.
All right. So we got Cardhu. We want to compare Cardhu because Cardhu, like we're saying, is the base.
Ooh.
And Cardhu is really interesting because Cardhu was started. Actually, I didn't do a whole lot of history on Cardhu, but I'll tell you a cool story about Cardhu. We'll get you a full review on Cardhu. But one of the cool things about Cardhu is Elizabeth's mother, when she took over the distillery back as her husband died, she had 3 kids. She's like started to modernize it, and she had actually making it do 3 times the output from the original one. And what she ended up doing was cool. Is they're up on a hill, and every time that she see the excise men coming, well, most stills in the area were not legal. So when the flag would go up, all the other families would be running around trying to hide their stills. So when the excise men come, she would throw flour over herself and tell them that she was baking bread. And of course, to cover it, and that's what the yeasty smell in the air was. And then she'd serve them tea. And while she was serving tea, this white flag would go up, and all the other families would run around and cover their stills up so that they knew the excise men were coming. There's no whiskey here. We don't know what you're talking about.
That's
it's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty awesome story. But yeah, and Elizabeth also sold the original Cardhu to this guy named William Grant, who made this distillery called Glenfiddich. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, so we'll get a full history on Cardhu when we get to it, but we just wanted to compare this.
Cardhu 12.
Yep, perfect. Yeah.
Here.
This is so much better Scotch and almost like a root beer.
Ooh.
Root beer, like including the
fizziness
of the root beer.
Oh, it really does. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's got the butterscotch palate. I don't know.
Comparing it to the Jane Walker, now you can totally see the Cardhu come through big time.
Yeah, the influence of it.
Well, I'll look forward to this Cardhu review for sure. That's really good. We may have to do that really soon. Hadn't had that one in quite some time, to be honest.
I really like the Cardhu, and we did it once on a live stream, and then I went and bought a bottle not long after because I liked it that much.
That's right. I gave it to Sam back then. That's right. We did.
That was the night that we did it with Sam and Bobby.
Yeah.
I can definitely taste it in the Jane, and it definitely adds a lot to it. I like that Cardhu.
Yeah, it didn't say what percentage of the. I'm charging obviously a large percentage is the base, and it's pretty obvious it's coming through.
Oh yeah,
those are both really good whiskeys. I would not be sad with either one of them. So yeah, so Jane Walker, totally worth the money. Yeah, I think that's a good product.
Might have to pick up a bottle of that ourselves.
Yeah,
I like it.
What is the price approximately of the Jane Walker?
About 37.
About 37.
Yeah, it's like 37. Yeah, it's not bad at all. So like $7 more than Monkey Shoulder.
Okay.
So, and it's got an age statement, and
it doesn't have that malt.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, like, that's the thing with Monkey Shoulder is that heavy malt. This does not have that heavy malt. So and you notice what you'll meet who can't get over the malt I think this would be a good alternative to give them, especially to give like bourbon drinkers to try this over the Monkey Shoulder. If they don't like that malty note that you get on it. So
yeah, I agree.
It's good stuff.
It's still nice and
good
bright.
job.
Yeah, they did a good job with this.
Yeah, I like it a lot. All right. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and drop us a comment below. And until next time,
keep on crusading for better whiskey in your glass. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, where's the...
Are you going to leave that in?
I don't know.
You need to do it again.
What happened?
No.
What did you do?
From the couch over there from Tiny Man.
Like literally half a second after your cheers, because it went cheers, 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 and about half a second after yours,
you just hear cheers,
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 cheers.
cheers.